Welcome back, everybody. Johnny here, going solo for a little bit for round 6, the last round of Swiss between Tiddvicious and Rena. So far, it's been a wonderful day of games. Pretty soon, we'll be seeing Top Cut, considering that both competitors are X1. So we'll be able to see both in Top Cut later on. But this might be a good preview right before it. Maybe you might meet up again in the finals. Who knows? Tiddvicious is going with his standard Kyogre, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Thunderous, Whimsicott, Zacian team.
And what do you think Reina's gonna bring, Johnny?
Oh, Nick is here. Hello.
Sorry I'm late, everybody.
Reina's got his Zacian, his Calyrex Shadow Rider, Thunderous, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Gastrodon for the Kyogre matchup. Nick, to answer your question before, I believe Gastrodon is probably a Pokemon that's going to make an appearance because it counters both Kyogre and Zacian fairly well. What about you?
Yeah, because Gastrodon's bulky physically, and with that Storm Drain, any of Kyogre's water attacks ain't gonna do nothing to it. So even if it uses like a water spout, so even if it hits like the Pokemon next to Gastrodon and it takes a lot of damage, Gastrodon doesn't mind anyways because it's gonna get a free special attack boost.
And those things can pile on if you've noticed from previous matches. So dangerous Pokemon to worry about. But Rillaboom on Matt's side of the field does take care of it fairly well.
That so it does. I mean, when you're water and ground, last thing you want to do is get hit by a grassy glide. Am I right?
I know, right? Unless you're what's the grass berry?
The grass? Oh, the
I know it's not
called again. Rindo, there we go. Thank you.
Special guest appearance by Matt.
Rindo Berry, thank you for the save. So we have Zacian and Thunderous on Reina's side, and the Whimsicott Kyogre lead on Tiddvicious. A standard lead that, from what Martini's been telling me, that you and him have been seeing a lot.
Yeah, the upside to constantly watching Tiddvicious' stream is that we get to see how he thinks and what Pokemon he tends to lead with, his patterns and whatnot. And this is a strong lead for him because Tailwind offers a chance to go hyper offensive early on because it gives your Pokemon double speed, and Water Spout being a solid move to use against both Thunderous and Zacian. But do you think one of those Pokemon Dynamax on Reina's side of the field?
I mean, if it's gonna be, actually, we might have to wait and see because first Reina's switching in the Gastrodon in the rain. And then, there you go. There you got your prediction right. We got a Dynamax turn 1 on Reina's side.
Yeah.
Thunderous.
Yeah, I believe the Thunderous is probably going to go for a Max Lightning onto the Kyogre slot, trying to get rid of it right now. But then again, the Gastrodon swap might not actually be might show that the Thunderous attack might not be heading towards the Kyogre. But we'll see here.
Well, at least this Kyogre is going to get a hit off before it possibly dies.
So we got a Tailwind set up with an Ice Beam from the Kyogre. Thunderous going for the Max Airstream into the Kyogre slot. Surprisingly does not go for an electric attack, but prefers to get the +1 speed boost instead. Feels that it's much more important for it. And Gastrodon does come in and get that +1 speed boost, but it wasn't the special attack boost that Reina was looking for.
That's true, right? Because it went for an Ice Beam rather than a Water Spout. So even after going first with the Tailwind, even after Tiddvicious knowing he'd go first with Tailwind, possibly predicting the Gastrodon switch in, using Ice Beam on the Thunderous instead of one of his water type moves.
Yeah, the Moonblast coming in, getting the -1 attack, special attack drop on the Gastrodon.
That's gonna hurt, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be. And Kyogre constantly going into work onto that Thunderous slot. Another Max Airstream into the Whimsicott slot, triggering the Focus Sash. Now, do you think that maybe that was probably an incorrect choice?
Oh, look at you thinking you would have done asking if you would have done things differently. I don't know, right? Because it was a good choice to already to already try and pop Whimsicott's Focus Sash. Go
ahead, you go first.
I'm thinking about, you know what, you got me wondering, because since Kyogre was low enough was that low enough HP to go down to the next max airstream. I see where you're coming from now. Of asking if it was the correct play to go after Whimsicott and pop its sash, or if it might have been better to go after the Kyogre and knock it out.
Yeah, this is me just backseat playing. I would have gone for the aggressive play and try to go for the knockout on the Kyogre slot, especially that it is a dangerous Pokemon for Matt. But he probably figures that he could handle a third Ice Beam. Matt's going to swap into Thunderous here in case any electric attacks was going to head his way. Whimsicott going for yet another Moonblast, targeting the Gastrodon slot, getting more damage onto it there.
Yeah, true. Sometimes when you're doing, when you're figuring out, sometimes you got to decide when you're attacking a Pokemon. Do you want to sometimes you got to figure out if if the correct play is to knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon. Like you said, since he knew that Kyogre wasn't gonna kill Kyogre's Ice Beam wasn't gonna kill Thunderous, maybe that's why he decided to leave him on the field and go after the Whimsicott.
I have to somewhat agree here. It does leave Matt with the option later on to bring in Kyogre for a potential Scald play afterwards.
Hopefully when it's around. Oh yeah, no, even when it's around, the rain will be back. So
yeah, it gets to if he loses his rain here, it will reset afterwards when it comes back in. So Matt's in a very interesting position. Do you think he goes for the Dynamax on the Thunderous slot, or do you think maybe he swaps it out, considering that Whimsicott's about to go down?
That's true. He hasn't Dynamaxed yet, but what is he got? He's got his Thunderous and his Whimsicott, so...
Yeah,
I mean... Like you said, like we brought up earlier, right? Gastrodon's great against Zacian. So, do you think it's bulky enough to live a Dynamax hit? I was gonna finish my sentence was gonna be if it was gonna tank a Dynamax hit from Thunderous, like say a Max Knuckle. But now we've got Calyrex in play now, so here's hoping that he doesn't Dynamax and go for the Max Knuckle.
No,
if
the
not,
Thunder
that's
Charge.
gonna be a waste of a turn and a waste of a Dynamax, like one turn less of Dynamax Thunderous.
Yeah, and the Thunder Charge going into the Kyogre slot. Seems like as if Rena was predicting that swap to happen. But Matt's Thunderous pick up the KO.
Yeah, a Thunder Charge on Thunderous's end, but now being put to sleep from the yawn earlier by Gastrodon.
Ah, yes, true. That's why I missed out on that little detail. That could be the difference maker as to why Matt decided not to go for the Dynamax on the Thunderous. Calyrex Shadow Rider's on the field. Very fast Pokemon because Shadow Rider is fast naturally. Zacian is also a fast Pokemon as well. But Matt still has his Tailwind up, if I'm not mistaken.
He has his Tailwind up, and now Whimsicott is on the field with 1 HP, so it doesn't have his Focus Sash anymore. So he's got a guy on 1 HP, a Sleeping Thunderous, and Reina's got a Calyrex and a Zacian. You know what? Just on first glance, Reina look like they've got the upper hand now. Both Mons at full HP, while Tiddvicious aren't. But going for the Cotton Sport here. Look at this, and it hits both guys. I didn't realize. Cotton Sport hits both guys on the field. This is nuts.
And what's very big about that is that it reduces the speed by 2 stages on both Pokemon. So the next Pokemon that comes in for Matt will be able to have a speed advantage in case the Tailwind gets petered out. But Grimday triggering on the Calyrex Shadow Rider, increasing its special attack. That means that those Astral Barrages are gonna hit much harder next turn.
Even if they are slower now, right? Because now since these are Reina's last 2 Mons, they can't be switched out. They're stuck in there at a reduced speed. But even so, their Zacian is now behind a substitute. So it's not like Tiddvicious' Zacian over here can just come here, Behemoth Blade or whatever it does, and just knock him out in 1 clean hit. Nah, now he's got to go through that substitute. He's got to go through that wall before getting to his.
And what's unfortunate here is that Zacian cannot Dynamax, so Matt's actually in a spot that he's forced to Dynamax his very low health Sleeping Thunderous just to hope to get maybe any kind of stat boost.
This is like you got to make your Dynamax turn count. Do you want to go for the Max Airstream? Do you want to go for the Max Knuckle? I mean, like you said, it's great to get another attack boost on with Max Knuckle, but you can't do it on the Calyrex because it's a Ghost type.
Agreed. Zacian's going to go through here with the Behemoth Blade naturally faster than Calyrex when it's at -2.
Oh yeah.
Will it be enough to pick up the KO? And it
Ooh,
does.
wait. Is it?
Oh, it's
Focus
Focus
Sash.
Sash. Wow. From the way we looked at on our side of the screen, looked like it was a KO, but we were incorrect on that. Astral
Oh,
Brawn.
the Focus Sash clutch coming in. I usually see these guys with like Life Orb, right? Or like, so I did not expect that. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this too. Kind of giving hint that maybe the Calyrex Shadow Rider is like max speed, max special attack to try to capitalize on its offensive abilities. And Zacian on Rena's side of the field will finish up the job, cleaning up Matt's Zacian on his side of the field, giving himself game 1.
Getting Behemoth bladed to the face.
Big sword do big damage.
Yo, it does, man.
Yeah. Nick, what did you think about that game?
Oh, for a second, I thought he like you said, he had no choice but to now Dynamax a sleeping Thunderous since he couldn't Dynamax Zacian. So that was kind of like, oh no, that was a bit of a rough patch already. If it wasn't asleep, it might have helped. And it looked like it might have been turning to Tid's side, like to Tid's favor, if he was from what we saw when he was gonna knock out Calyrex with the Behemoth Blade. But then that Focus Sash comes in, right? That clutch sash. Like sometimes the items you put on, like sometimes like if certain items aren't used on certain mons, like if you don't expect that item to be on there, it throws you off your game, and that could turn the tide. Like all it takes is sometimes just one turn, just to change the tide of the battlefield in your favor.
Indeed, and what's great about Focus Sash, especially during a Dynamax era of gaming, is that it's so I don't want to say unpredictable, but it gives you a chance to suck in 2 massive attacks that would give massive damage. Kind of reducing the effectiveness of Dynamax.
Dynamax era of game.
Well, I mean that's what we're in right now.
That sounded kind of cool.
Dynamax era of gaming. Going on to game 2, Rena leads with Zacian and Thunderous. I believe was the same lead as game 1, was it not?
There was the Thunderous out, but
yeah, and it was the Zacian as well because I remember it being shiny. So yes, same lead
yes.
from Rena. And for Matt's end, instead of going Whimsicott Kyogre, goes for Whimsicott Zacian. Solid lead so far. Seems like we're gonna go for a helping hand Behemoth Blade, but let's see what happens here.
And what's he gonna bring in? He's bringing in the Incineroar. Oh, trying to mitigate that +1 that Zacian automatically gets thanks to Intrepid Sword when it enters the field. So now it's back at neutral attack, but then again, it's already at a base 170, right? So that's still a high attack stat, even with even with the +1 boost not there anymore.
Rena's Zacian going first, either potentially from a speed tie or showing that it's faster than Matt's Zacian. But Incineroar also being a fire type resists the steel type attack from the Behemoth Blade. So solid switch there from Rena in my opinion.
Oh, very. Gotta agree with you on that. And that did a lot less damage than I would have thought, especially with like I said, because I think Zacian has like a base 170 or something attack. So to do that little damage against against Incineroar, even with it being resisted, I'm kind of surprised. I thought it would do a little more.
And now also Incineroar offers fake out pressure. So, I believe the fake out's going to go to the Whimsicott slot because he knows that Whimsicott has Focus Sash and he wants to pop it as early as he can. But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I know oh, never mind. He's not even going for the fake out. Look at these. Look at all these switches that happened. Just in like what? We're already at what? Turn 2, turn 3 here already. Like, jeez. Pokemon switching in and out. You think this was singles, but this is that we're watching over here.
Sometimes you need to pivot into proper positions. Zacian with the Behemoth Blade on the Thunderous on Matt's side of the field, doing a good amount of damage, not enough to get a KO, but still significant. Moonblast from the Whimsicott, getting about a quarter damage on the Thunderous on Rena's side of the field. And what do now?
Hey man, what do now? Great
What
English.
do now?
I mean, every damage counts, right? I mean, even if it damage is resisted and doesn't do as much, it all adds up. And it could be like it all adds up and could really help you in later on and like down the line.
Just
like
like
in the
part
later
marks
turn.
on a marks on a math test. Wouldn't you agree?
Watch a part marks on a math test.
That's what I tell my students sometimes. Hey, every part mark can make a difference on a pass or a fail of a math test. So, same thing in Pokemon, right? And Pokemon is a game of numbers here, isn't it not? Like, don't you?
Oh boy, here we go, bringing in the math over. I mean, it is. You got to, trying to trying to get an idea of how much damage is being done to you, knowing if you could survive a hit next turn. How much did you do that turn? If you could do the same amount the turn after, will that confirm the kill? Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of number crunching happening in your head at a very fast pace. And when you do something like Tailwind, right? Boom, all you have to do is multiply by 2, so it's a bit of a quicker math there. So you just got to double your speed by 2.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1. That's 3 quick maths. So,
Oh yeah, totally.
so Zacian going for the protect there, kind of giving a Whimsicott a free turn to set up the Tailwind because the max air stream will bring it down to its focus sash level. Thundurus did go for a wild charge on the opposing Thundurus, but it wasn't enough to do to consider maybe a 2-hit kill. But a double up here, especially under Tailwind, might be enough to pick up the KO on Thundurus.
Kind of scared of RenaVGC right now. It's behind the sub. It's got +1 in speed and attack right now. And it's behind the sub. So in order to get to it, you got to break that.
Which is completely correct. So it really depends on what Matt has in the back. So we know that there is the Zacian in the back. I can't recall the 4th Pokemon right now. But yeah, right now it seems to be in a very good advantageous spot.
Oh, it was just enough. Oh.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought my eyes were deceiving me, and it lived as well. But the wild charge from the Thundurus and the Moonblast, the double up, was enough to get the KO. Zacian's going to come in here and use a Behemoth Blade, I believe, on the Thundurus slot. Let's see.
No, going for the Whimsicott.
Interesting. So I guess he wants to get rid of any supportive moves that Whimsicott could bring to the table. But Tailwind is still up for Matt's side of the field. So whoever he brings out should naturally be faster.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how many turns of Tailwind are left? Because Reyna could have Reyna knocked out the Whimsicott to prevent any future Tailwind, since maybe Matt has only, maybe 1 or 2 more turns left?
I believe he's probably got 2 more. I think he has 2 more.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out shortly.
Yeah. Oh, now the -1 on Thundurus, so not going to be happy about that for doing any more wild charges.
No, but don't forget, Thundurus does have the Defiant ability, so this actually gives it a +1.
Oh, look at that.
So now, Zacian's at neutral attack, Thundurus is at +1, but Zacian on Rena's side of the field is behind a substitute, and Incineroar has access to Fake Out. I'm pretty sure Incineroar is Fake Outing the Thundurus slot.
Think it's going to kill?
I believe so. I think he's going to go for the 1-hit kill. Well, it's not really a 1-hit kill when you have like a 10th of a health left, but
I believe it's going to knock it out, right?
Exactly, and usually Thunduruses don't carry protect, so it's not a very dangerous choice to go with. But he didn't though. Matt Zacian is going to come through first with the Behemoth Blade, trying to break through that substitute, which it should. If it didn't, then he asked me questions.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been any defense boost on Reyna's, so I think we're fine. And a Brick Break, so that's what the Max Knuckle is. Ooh.
Brick Break doing a significant amount of damage. Maybe the Incineroar decided to go for a Flare Blitz, and it might kill itself based on the recoil. Let's see.
That's a good point. Hey, look at you. look at you predicting these things. Now, is it actually going to go down to the recoil when Zacian?
Maybe not, because Zacian was at low health.
Is it?
No, it lived.
No, just not enough. That's what his 4th guy was. Instead of Kyogre, this time he's bringing in the Rillaboom. Gonna set up that terrain. Yeah, and then probably I'm gonna predict the Grassy Glide, right? Because that's what you usually see with Rillaboom. Grassy Surge, Grassy Glide, and even no matter how fast your opponent's Pokemon is, when you've got a priority move, you're always gonna move. You're always gonna be moving ahead of them.
I was just about to say that. So if I were Reina, if and this is me just thinking out loud here, I feel like as if he'd probably predict a fake out going into the Zacian slot. So he'd probably protect the Zacian and try to go for more damage from the Incineroar slot. But Thundurus is faster, so it's just Thundurus attacking the Incineroar. But Matt has yet to Dynamax, or in this case, Gigantamax. We're gonna see some Phil Collins drum solos in the air tonight.
So we're gonna start referencing Phil Collins songs every time he brings out Rillaboom. Is that it?
Do 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 do.
He's an easy. Oh, I'm not gonna sing on stream. I'm gonna make everyone turn off. But he's an easy lover.
The Electro Web coming from the Thundurus to both Pokemon to reduce their speed. I'm pretty sure the crit did not matter on that Incineroar.
Not at that HP, that's for sure.
But Max Quake from the Rillaboom. Is it enough to pick up the KO? And it does!
Yo, that damage. Max Quake on Rillaboom. Ho ho.
Great tech versus Zacians.
Yeah, it is. I had to do a double take when you said that. It was like Max Quake on Rillaboom. I'm like, wait, what?
So now I believe Rena is left to his last Pokemon, which is Calyrex Shadow Rider.
And Calyrex take out. I mean, Calyrex is a very high special attack. Do you think its Astral Barrage can take out Rillaboom and Thundurus?
I don't think so because Rillaboom just gave both Pokemon a +1 special defense boost with the Max Quake.
That's right.
Even though Tailwind has been removed from the field, Calyrex Shadow Rider should be faster than both Pokemon. It will pick up the KO on the Thundurus, but I think the Rillaboom cleans up shop here. So
yeah, you're right. That +1. That's what I'm telling you. All these, max moves, right? It's not just, oh, I'm gonna be bigger and do bigger damage. It's sometimes, hey, if I go for, maybe I should go for a Max Quake in this case, so I can boost up my special defense since I'm fighting a Pokemon with special attack.
Agreed. And that's why Matt keeps on going for Max Quake instead of a stab Max G-Max drum solo because he wants to get those special defense boosts versus Calyrex special attack boosts from knocking out Pokemon.
Doesn't want to risk any crits. He wants to take as little damage as possible from Calyrex since his Rillaboom moves after.
Agreed.
After Calyrex.
Calyrex is sitting at +1 special attack boost, whereas Rillaboom is sitting at +2 special defense. Psyshock coming in, doing some good damage, but not enough. But here comes the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold with the drum solo.
Yo, ending it with a bang over here.
Rest in peace, the Rev. One of my favorite drummers. That's why I wanted to reference him. Matt picks up the win for Game 2. Nick, thoughts? Let's go.
Thoughts on he ended that concert, or at least that show, with a pretty wicked drum solo, right? So
That's true.
that's always one way to end the song. Just have a crazy drum solo going on at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that many Phil Collins songs, granted, that have all those kind of drum solos at the end.
I don't believe there are many, but maybe Dave Grohl was living vicariously through Rillaboom there. But back to Pokemon. That was a great match for Game 2. I believe Matt adjusted very well. Rillaboom, once again, when he Dynamaxes him or Gigantamaxes him in this situation, tends to be the winning punch for him. Because I've yet to see him Gigantamax Rillaboom and lose. So maybe that might be his good luck charm. Who knows?
Could be. I mean, it's got some pretty high stats in defense and special defense. So it's got good stats in HP as well. So it can tank some attacks, or at least it could at least tank one Behemoth Blade decently from Zacian. If it gets a Max Quake up, oh man, it could handle Calyrex.
It can also handle basically the Gastrodon, but the rest are physical attackers. So,
oh yeah, I could 100% handle. I think Gastrodon just tickles it. It barely does anything. Water Ground ain't gonna do much to that grass type, let me tell you. But maybe,
you're not wrong.
Maybe we might see if it does something. For all we know, Reina's Gastrodon might have a hidden tech to, to put Rillaboom in its place, and we might see that in this next round. I mean, in this next game, Game 3, happening right now.
Yeah,
To everybody just tuning in, this is the MPL VGC Series Tournament number 8, MPL Online Tournament number 8, VGC Series 12. We're watching it from the perspective of Tiddvicious, so whatever you're seeing is what we're seeing.
Yes, the Montreal Pokemon League is a league here in Montreal, as it says in the title, that we tend to run events related to not only just VGC but other stuff as well. We are also doing a Victory Road League. Nick, would you tell the audience what that's all about?
Victory Road Online Challenge? Well, that's where we bring the video games to life, right? Where we have gym leaders. You can come and challenge us in our Discord. We post on our Facebook page and our Instagram and in our Discord as well to let you know what day and what time you can challenge our leaders. They're all done with Pokemon Sword and Shield. And speaking of Pokemon Sword and Shield, that wasn't one of my best segues. We got a match in front of us right now, and we got a match and a Dynamax Thundurus in front of us on Reina's side.
Reina is going with the same lead as he got for both games.
Yep.
Thundurus going for the Wild Charge on Reina's opposing Thundurus, doing a quarter damage.
Whimsicott getting the Tailwind and a big old sword once again. I swear, like, Behemoth Blade is the word that I've been reading the most when looking at all these videos and commentating on them.
It is such a great move because it doubles damage versus Dynamax Pokemon. Reina doubling up into the opposing Thundurus slot, trying to get rid of a potential heavy hitter on Matt's side of the field, or also a problem sim Pokemon.
You got rid of him.
That he did, but no speed boost was brought on with a max airstream. So maybe Kyogre here might be an interesting choice.
Because he went for the max lightning. That's true.
Yeah. So right now he doesn't get a boost because he's flying. Obviously Thundurus, so the flying he doesn't touch terrain. But the fact that there's double speed up, maybe Kyogre might be able to get a water spout here. But do you think it would be enough to get a KO?
I mean, like, Thundurus is that...
Wait, hold on. Wait, we might be seeing something else here.
He could be predicting the Gastrodon switching from, like, game 1, right? Remember, because he went for Ice Beam before.
This is true. Water Spout would be able to hit both Pokemon, but still. Like, if it is a Gastro comes out, yeah.
If he does go for the Ice Beam, though, as we've seen, at the HP that Thundurus is at, I don't think it's going to kill.
No, it would not kill.
Timer's running out. Look at that. Matt's figuring out what to do. Do I go for the...
Oh, and he gets it in at the last second.
Oh, that was clutch. He's going for what? He's making a big play right now. He's Dynamaxing the Kyogre to go for a max Hailstorm, hoping that cinches it, right? That gets rid of the Thundurus. Because if he can do that, that's huge.
Yeah, and sometimes in Pokemon, you have to make these big risky plays because those ones make the difference whether you win or lose. And
true that.
He's trying to go for the high roll here, and let's see if he pulls it off.
Protect on the Zacian. I'm telling you, sometimes Protect is like a double-edged sword. Sometimes it happens at a time where your opponent's like, oh no, I didn't realize they had Protect, and it changes the game in their favor. But sometimes you might panic and use it like, oh no, I gotta protect my guy. And sometimes if you use it like that, it might end up working out in your opponent's favor. And maybe this might have worked out in Matt's favor right now. But in a sense, this gave him like a free turn. In a sense, this was like a heavy hitter on Reina's side, not doing much damage, or any damage at all, really, since it's protected. Oh, you know what? Forget. All right, I take that back. That Thunder just destroyed that Kyogre.
So just in case you weren't aware, so Tid did a Cotton Guard to reduce the speed of both opposing Pokemon. But because Thundurus has Defiant as an ability, whenever one of its stats get reduced, its attack gets boosted. And because it wasn't an attack drop, his attack went up by 2 stages, thus securing any KO, any type of a KO from Thundurus versus Kyogre. And now Matt is stuck with both Whimsicott and Zacian. Whimsicott obviously not having the protection of Focus Sash anymore, and Reina sitting comfortably with all 4 Pokemon, almost at near health. Not looking good.
That's true. It's right. Yeah, if Reyna still has all 4 of their guys, all 4 of their Mons, and Tiddvicious has 2 of it, 2 out of 4 right now. This is a bit of an uphill battle right now.
Indeed, it is.
Oh boy.
And that's going for the Behemoth Blade. Is it targeting the Thunderous slot?
And the Thunderous has got the +1, right? So
Thunderous has got the +2.
+2, right?
Max Airstream from the Thunderous here, going into the Whimsicott slot, picking up the easy KO since it's a super effective attack, +2 attack. And also that the Whimsicott doesn't have a Focus Sash anymore, giving a speed boost to both itself and the Incineroar. Even though there is a speed drop from the Cotton Guard, it's still trying to get itself back up there. And it will be going third in the next round of attacks.
I think I missed it, but why was the Behemoth Blade used on Incineroar, not on Thunderous? Since, Zacian went faster than it.
Don't know why. I believed maybe he was trying to see if maybe he can kill the Zacian because he felt like maybe he could survive any Max Lightning or Max Airstream attack from the Thunderous. But that's going to be it for round 6. Reyna takes the 2-1 win on Matt. Matt being X2 should be going on to the next round. Reyna guaranteeing himself a top cut being X1 or herself. Sorry, I am unaware of the gender. I apologize if I misgendered anybody. But nonetheless, overall a fantastic round. What do you think, Nick?
That was I said that that kept me on the edge of my seat for a bit. Like in game 1 when we saw the Focus Sash pop out from the Calyrex and we were like, yo, no way, because we thought it was going to turn in Tiddvicious' favor, but it didn't. Because thanks to that Focus Sash, like came in clutch when no one expecting that to be on a Calyrex, I guess, or at least it's not an item you see often. Like usually you see Life Orb or what else is there one other than Life Orb actually?
I sometimes see Weakness Policy because they Dynamax their Shadow Rider as their main Dynamax Pokemon. But I agree, that Focus Sash play was the very interesting play of the round. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Johnny, my co-commentator here, Nick. Thank you for listening for round 6. We will be back shortly with Top Cut. Stay tuned.